against Wisconsin in Humboldt, your old stopping ground.
Yeah, we're ready to go to Humboldt. Round 3. We had Purdue and Grandview, and now Big Ten school again. So anytime you step on a mat with a Big Ten school, you got to be ready to go. So we're excited to get there, and we got some things to figure out. We got some wrestle-offs that we're going to go through probably Thursday because we're still trying to figure out. We got guys moving around a little bit, so we're getting closer to a lineup, but we won't even be there this week. But I know we're excited to go. So it's up to you guys now.
What guys may be moving around?
Ichiamendi is dropping. I'm not much one for secrets, Ben. So and Feldkamp's going to get back in there at some point. He's starting to scrap live now, so we'll see how he looks for this weekend. I don't think we got anybody moving up and down. You know, we got a challenge at 125. Perryman had a good weekend, and I think he's going to challenge. And at 141, I think Ichiamendi will challenge Frost. And 57, we got to figure out Kreischer and Chittum. So we're going to go down on the lean floor at 6 o'clock again on Thursday night and figure that out. 97, we're going to have another wrestle off because we got 2 guys that are doing a good job there. And I think that's it for right now.
Is your expectation that Casey Swiderski slots into 49 then?
Yeah, he's going to fall into 49.
Okay.
What have you seen from him this offseason and just throughout, the start of this season, not getting the start initially, but now he's worked his way into the lineup?
You know, for the last 2 weeks, ever since he lost that wrestle-off match, which I'm sure a lot of people watching, it was pretty hotly contested match in a lot of ways. It was a really close match. He's had a great attitude. And, you know, in the past, we've all seen Casey kind of explode. And, you know, I see him growing up a little bit, realizing that, you know, things didn't go my way. I got 2 choices. I can whine and cry and pout about it, or I can go get better. And I've seen a guy that's had the best 2 weeks of practice since he's been at Iowa State. So that's exciting.
He's a Dundee high school product, close to my hometown there. What did you see from him when you were looking at him back a couple years ago?
Just a guy that competes really hard, got a mean streak, you know, perfect for what you want in a wrestler. Sometimes we just got to tame him down. And so, you know, I always say you got to be in that line. Sometimes he's on that wrong side of that line, but I think we're getting him better in that respect too. So, you know, he's got to keep his composure when he's out there, and he's doing that better as well.
Last week, the NCAA comes out with the new gambling guidelines and how that's going to look. I guess just your reaction to how that kind of unfolded.
You know, I don't. Yeah, I've said this before. You know, I don't feel bad for the NCAA often. I'm not saying that meanly. They had a tough choice to make there in that situation. They didn't. I can promise you that the NCAA did not want this whole mess thrown on their lap. To me, the bigger question is who in Des Moines decided to get this thing going and why. And we've never really heard those answers. And that's really what I want to know is why are we in this? Why are Iowa and Iowa State athletes the only ones in this? Why is this? It just seems to be very confusing to me as to why this even happened. And, you know, we don't seem to get a lot of answers in that respect. And, you know, I think the kids that are going to get charged in this are probably going to come out really on the good side of this things, because I think there was a lot of things, from what I'm hearing, there was a lot of things that were done in this process that wasn't right for these kids. So that'll all come out later. I won't say any more because I'll get in trouble.
You said back in media day it was probably a couple guys. Are you able to go into any specifics at all at this point, or is it still?
No, they don't want us to talk about guys. I mean, it's obvious there's certain guys that aren't going to be in our lineup this year. But, you know, the penalty is for a lot of these guys is 1 year. So it's no secret. We've got a couple young guys that, you know, instead of having 3 years left, they're going to have 2 years left. And instead of having 4 years left, they're going to have 3 years left. We got a couple of those guys. So it obviously hit those guys over there a little bit worse than us because it hit some seniors. But, you know, we all had guys that fell in there. And, you know, you go to any college campus in America and any athletic teams, there's a big majority of athletes that are going, whoo, man, we dodged a bullet there. And we just didn't dodge it here.
And I guess, like, last question on this in general, what's been the talk with the NCAA in terms of, like, are they able to wrestle unattached or anything, or is it completely just, like, they're done?
Yeah, they can wrestle unattached. So those guys will be starting to get in there as they, you know, we got a couple, like Panero was dinged up, and so he's going to try to get in there. He'll, you know, not this open tournament, but the next open tournament, assuming he stays healthy. They're going to be able to, you know, go unattached and spend their own money to go compete.
The Humboldt duel has obviously been fun and successful, and David Carr just got done telling us how much he loves that duel. you've obviously done a good job of making connections there. Obviously, the Purdue coach is from Humboldt as well. Grandview's right down the street here in Des Moines. Chris Bono at Media Day, you said his wife is a Humboldt native.
Yeah.
He's obviously an Iowa Stater himself. So
Right.
how nice is it to have these connections for this duel?
Yeah, I think it's great. Grandview, I think a lot of what Coach Mitchell's done over there, and to step up and take on a team, a big-time Division I team, it tells you a lot about the character of Coach Mitchell and testing his guys. And now, Wisconsin, Coach Bono's done a great job there in a short amount of time, and just lucky to have a tie there. So we'll see what happens next year. But we've had three good matches that people are excited to watch, and our guys love it because they're all on top of you.
What are you hoping to see out of your guys as they go up against a tougher opponent?
Well, we're ready for a tougher opponent. We need a tougher opponent. We're getting one. So, the next 3 weeks are going to be really interesting for us. We've got Wisconsin, then we got Iowa, and then we leave 3 days later. We jump on a plane and wrestle Vegas, which is, besides the Big 12s and the Big 10s and the NCAA tournament, the toughest event in wrestling. So we got three really. We'll know, we get to December 2nd, the night of December 2nd. It'll be interesting to see where we got these guys at, and rankings and how much their stock's up or down. So that's the fun part of coaching. We get to cross our legs and sit down and watch for a while.
How good is it to be able to have a duel against a team like Wisconsin when you're leading into Iowa?
Yeah, we need a good one. And that was kind of by design. Was we need to step it up. We need to step it up, and bringing Coach Carr out here from Davidson. It was good for his program to feel that. And it was good timing for us, but now we're ready we need to jump a big notch.
What are the things specifically you're looking for in terms of just like, these are the areas of improvement I want to see, or the things we need to work on heading into that?
I think just pace. We've got to be able to go hard for 7 minutes, because we know that's what it takes to beat the best guys. And you look at the rankings of some of the 25, the 65, especially from Wisconsin, are really tough kids with high paces. And then you get to Iowa and their lineup, and you got 10 guys with good pace. So we got to get used to that pace.
Talking about getting used to that pace, how do you see potentially the new rule changes affecting that? Because we've seen how it affects against, no offense, but teams like Davidson, it can get out of hand quickly. How do you see that impacting a dual meet against a Wisconsin, where it's probably more evenly matched?
I don't think it's going to be any different than it was last year when it was a 2-point takedown versus a 3-point takedown. I think when you got two evenly matched guys, it's going to be a barn burner. It's going to be close. In those situations where you got some separation, the guys that could win by 5 or 6 last year are probably going to major this year. The guys that could major last year are probably the guys that can tech this year. But the dogfights are going to be the dogfights.
Who have been the guys so far with the 3-point takedown that you've been like, after seeing a couple duels, been like, okay, they're really thriving?
Well, in the last 2 dual meets, 10 guys times 10 guys, or plus 10 guys, so 20 guys. Because we had a lot of, I think we bonus point in every match but one, and so we're 19 out of 20 for bonus points. So, and we wouldn't have had that last year. There would have been some lopsided ones, but we probably would have fallen out of a few of those if the rules were like they were last year.
Anything else?
All right, guys.